April 2022. The world was watching the defamation trial of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard in Fairfax, Virginia. Depp and Heard were suing each other for defamation. Depp alleged that Heard destroyed his career when she accused him of domestic violence. She countersued over his claim that her allegations were a hoax.
This is the $50 million libel case that Johnny Depp has brought against his former wife, Amber Heard, after she wrote an opinion piece in the Washington Post newspaper in 2018 after the couple had divorced, in which she described herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse.
Hashtags associated with the trial repeatedly trended across social media as viewers watched and discussed the celebrity case of the year. Its messiness, its scandal, the glamorous movie stars at its heart, and the question of what to believe.
It has been incredibly painful to relive the breakup of my relationship, to have my motives, my truth questioned, and the most traumatic and intimate details of my life with Johnny shared in court and broadcast to the entire world.
This was a murky, perplexing trial. While it's technically a defamation trial over a newspaper article with Depp suing Heard, at its center is one significant conflict. Heard says Depp abused her. Depp says Heard abused him. So what's the truth? After short deliberations, the verdict was in. This is Depp versus Heard, the verdict. Johnny Depp has made a long, successful career for himself in Hollywood, ultimately becoming one of the most recognizable names in the industry. Amber Heard has starred in various movies in different and unconventional roles. She's known to have made her way through Hollywood through grit and determination after coming from a humble background. Depp's ability to totally transform into any role he is playing, be it a pirate, a man with scissors for hands, or an old-time gangster, always leaves us visibly awestruck, knowing that no one else could have completed the role he played.
One final question. Where is the bloody rum?
Heard is known for her spiritedness and never-say-die attitude, as she's had to battle a number of unsuccessful releases. Apart from her film career, she is a known activist, speaking openly and raising awareness about domestic violence.
And I want to take my job seriously, and I want to let my career speak for itself. I don't want to be a celebrity. I don't want to be a celebrity. I want a quality career, and I want that to do all the talking for me.
The pair fell in love on a film set, and their relationship will be forever known as one that went from a fairy tale to a nightmare. When Heard landed the role in the 2011 film The Rum Diary and was handpicked by Depp himself, her romance with Tasia Van Ree went out the window. The pair had immediate chemistry, which turned romantic, and that saw the end of Depp's 14-year partnership with Vanessa Paradis.
Ever seen someone across the room and had that feeling of true love at first sight?
Yeah, we've been together about 11 years and we have 2 children.
What happened when
I saw a back from about 30 yards away. I saw a back and a neck, and it turned around suddenly and looked at me, and I was stupefied, and then it was over.
Shortly after The Rum Diary, their relationship went from a fairy tale to a nightmare.
The women definitely will.
I thought maybe you were a mermaid.
I'm from Connecticut.
Stay away from her. She's Sanderson's fiancée.
She sunbathes in the nude.
Take it like 2 maracas.
She's a sweet little beauty.
I was looking at his boat.
We've all been down on her. It's a wonderful experience.
Now, all this might sound like some crazed hallucination, but it's all true. I think. meeting an actress like Amber Heard, she's of another era, you know. I mean, it's like walking into a room and meeting Lauren Bacall or Betty Davis, or, you know, any of the sort of great Veronica Lake. Or she's quite something, you know. She's very special.
He's such a pleasure. He's such a pleasure to work with. He's even better than I could have imagined him to be, which is saying something.
Is he funny?
He is. I noticed when I got to set that everybody smiled when he walks on set, and I know it's a good sign. He looks everybody in the eye, he takes time with everybody, and I think that's special. He's a special human being.
It's great working with him, and, you know, I mean, look at this lady here, you know, she's amazing. And all of the actors in the film are so good. I made Amber suffer terribly. I kept bringing her back and doing tests and stuff, but she had the part as she walked through the door day one. I mean, as soon as she came in, she had it, the American dream, you know. Yeah, he had the final say, the final veto. If he'd said no, then she wouldn't have got the part. Well, I initially chose her, he didn't know her, and after I got down through a few, got down through a few actresses, when I'd sort of done the casting, I said I'd like her, and she went into Johnny's office for half an hour and had a fag with him. Or she doesn't smoke, but had a drink with him, I don't know.
2 years after they broke up, Heard wrote a 2018 opinion article in the Washington Post that claimed she'd become a public figure representing domestic abuse. A libel against him, Depp claims, based on the lawsuit.
There was a time when Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were the industry's it couple, but the Hollywood honeymoon didn't last long.
Depp's attorney suggested that Heard was abusive to him rather than the other way around. To prove this, they brought out several witnesses who knew the couple and claimed to have never seen injuries on Heard. They played various recordings in which Heard taunts and insults Depp.
The fact of the matter is, Johnny, they don't know. None of your friends, whether they saw a tiny fraction. That was the tip of an iceberg. A tip of an iceberg. That was my reaction to, yet again, this happening. That is the tip of the iceberg. And if you want to use that as some sort of like mental excuse or validation of whatever, of telling your friends or whatever they think or whatever they think about me or whatever, fine. But they only saw a tip of an iceberg. None of your friends
Let me ask you a question.
None of this team have actually been there for one of our fights. They've never actually seen.
That's not true.
Really? Have they been in the hallway? Yeah.
They've heard
have they
everything.
seen that? Baby, that is absolutely not true. They have not heard everything.
These witnesses frequently presented entirely different recollections of incidents Heard and mentioned in her testimony, which had the effect of challenging the accuracy of her account. When Heard made her allegations, the actor said that the people in the entertainment industry began to think he was a fraud and that she destroyed his career, costing him everything.
Everybody is lost. And when you, regardless of what the judge may decide, in the court of public opinion, Depp and Heard are both losers in this case.
Heard alleges a pattern of physical and sexual abuse from Depp, which worsened when Depp drank heavily and used drugs, particularly cocaine and MDMA. The defense called several witnesses who testified to seeing Depp in various states of inebriation. Most said they did not see Depp strike Heard, but they witnessed him become jealous and angry on several occasions. Heard also says she lost career opportunities due to several comments to the media by Depp's lawyers, claiming that her allegations were false.
For 3 weeks, exes Amber Heard and Johnny Depp arrived here at the High Court, always by different entrances at different times, only to face each other in court, as Amber Heard accused her ex-husband of being a prolific domestic abuser who even held her hostage on one occasion. Now, Johnny Depp always denied that. Instead, he called his ex-wife's allegations a hoax because she was, quote, a gold digger. Today, the judge ruled that he did not accept that characterization of Miss Heard.
The trial began in April 2022. It consisted of multiple witnesses who were present during the pair's toxic relationship. The trial was overseen by Judge Penny S. Ezcarate, the gatekeeper who made the decisions on admissible evidence, witnesses, and testimony. The first to take the stand was Depp's sister, Christy Dembrowski. Dombrowski, also Depp's personal manager, sought to refute Heard's claims that her brother was a violent, unaccountable, childlike drug addict. She did not share Heard's concerns that the actor was dependent on drugs and that he despaired over ever kicking his habit. She testified that her brother had sworn to never perpetrate domestic violence after being a victim of it himself from their late mother. Her testimony also included a conversation she had with Heard where she referred to her husband as an old fat man and was outraged when he, not her, was offered business with the French luxury house Dior, stating, "They're about class and style, and you don't have style." The Dior promotional campaign currently circulating creates an image of Depp as uncompromising, deep, and authentic. He's never been so fascinating, so rock and roll.
In the wilderness, fearless and human. Sauvage, the new elixir, Dior.
The court then heard from Isaac Baruch, the former manager of Depp's Viper Room Club in Los Angeles, whom Depp set up in a penthouse apartment neighboring the couple so that he could paint. He testified that he'd witnessed Depp and Heard argue, but never violently. Baruch, a scene stealer in Hollywood terms with a forthright Brooklynese manner, said Heard was never anything but friendly to him. He fell in love with her just like Johnny fell in love with her. She was totally gracious and respectful. His testimony was presented to illustrate Depp's contention that his part in the marriage to Heard was peaceful and that his wife was the abusive party. He testified that Heard had told him that her husband threw a phone at her and hid her inside the penthouse. He never noticed evidence of abuse on Heard's face. Efforts by Dombrowski and Baruch to point Depp as a mild, if troubled man is designed to counter devastating claims issued by Heard's lawyers, who contend that Depp's career deteriorated as a result of his drinking and abuse of drugs, and that her Washington Post piece was not what had made him an unreliable commodity to the movie business. Heard's attorney brings a new sexual assault allegation. During opening arguments on April 12th, Heard's attorney, Elaine Bredehoff, alleged that Depp sexually assaulted Heard with a liquor bottle on one occasion. Depp shook his head in court as Bredehoff recounted the alleged incident. His attorney, Camille Vasquez, disputed the allegation of sexual assault in court. A marriage counselor describes mental abuse. A video deposition of Heard and Depp's former marriage counselor, Dr. Laurel Anderson, was shown to the jury on April 14th. She discussed her past sessions with the couple. Asked whether Heard had ever reported any physical violence by Depp to her, Dr. Anderson said yes. Asked whether she had seen photos, she said she had, but doesn't remember when. Asked whether there was violence from Depp toward Heard, she said, yes, you're right. The metaphorical heat in the courtroom ramped up dramatically on April 19, when Depp took the stand. He testified under questioning from his own lawyers for 2 days before facing cross-examination.
Well, that testimony is ongoing behind me. He will, of course, be cross-examined later by Miss Heard's lawyers. She has described him, and they have described him, for their part, as an alcohol and drug-dependent abuser who is simply seeking revenge. Remember, he's already lost one libel case that he brought against the Sun newspaper in London for describing him as a wife beater. He lost that case, so he is hoping finally that this case will give him a chance, this trial, to clear his name.
Depp told the court he did feel exposed by the litigation, insisting that despite his successful career, he'd always been a private person who had tried to shield his 2 children from hordes of paparazzi, and that he did not want them to see their parents as novelties.
I mean, I think I was making choices back then for my kid, so that when I was all dried up and burned out in this business, that
my children would have something to be proud of, or hopefully be proud of one day. They can watch it and say that Dad did, good work for a little while.
But he wanted to clear his name after it was smeared throughout the industry. Depp told the jury that Heard, who has denied abusing Depp, frequently verbally berated him and would sometimes strike out in a physically violent way.
I lied.
And that you punched me in the fucking thing, and you in the face, and you said, "No, fucking, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about?" And I watched you lie, and then
I didn't punch you.
And
by
then
the way, I'm sorry that I didn't hit
punched
you
me
across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you, babe. You're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You've been a lot of fights, been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a closed fist.
You get punched. You're not hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you.
You can't
I don't know
deck
what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
The jury saw a photo of Depp with a bruise on his face, which he said his security guard took after Heard hit him. Another photo showed scratches on his face that he said happened during another confrontation. The star testified that his drug and alcohol use had been an easy target for the actress to hit after their marriage ultimately broke down. But Depp said he didn't use it for partying, but rather to dull the pain of past trauma. He spoke at length about his difficult childhood, saying that his mother, Betty Sue Palmer, had the ability to be as cruel as anyone can be. Describing his mother's violence, he added that she would hit her children in the head and use any object that was handy nearby. Depp stated that the family learned to deal with the physical abuse, but that the verbal and psychological abuse tore them up. After his father left his mother, she went into a deep, dark depression, and Depp, age 11, would witness his mother taking a multitude of pills to calm her nerves. Wanting to escape his feelings at a young age, he took the same medications. Depp likened his marriage with Heard to his fraught relationship with his mother, consisting of an endless tirade of insults. Heard could be heard admitting to hitting Depp on a recording played in court. Heard and Depp argued about the physical altercation on the recording.
I do. And I can't promise you that I'll be perfect. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, I fucking sometimes get so mad I lose it. I can fucking promise you I'm gonna do everything to change. Promise you. I'm not gonna throw around divorce. I will not say divorce unless I really mean it. Unless it's it. And then I hope you leave me. I'm not going to, and me too, I will leave you. It's fair. I can't do it, And I think, honestly, if we hold each other accountable to that, it's fair.
Jurors heard several accounts, some overlapping, many contradictory, of a 2015 trip to Australia, where Depp was shooting a film for the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise.
Now, as Johnny Depp sat in the same courtroom as Amber Heard, she claimed her ex-husband had violently attacked her while on a trip to Australia in 2015. She says she remembers him swigging whiskey as he repeatedly threw bottles at her like they were bombs or grenades.
Depp described in graphic detail a fight with Heard during which he claims she threw a vodka bottle at him, severing his finger.
She walked up to me and reached and grabbed the bottle of vodka, and then just kind of stood back and then hurled it at me. And it just went right past my head and smashed behind me.
He told jurors he went into shock and used blood from his injury to write messages to Heard on the wall. Heard denied injuring his finger and said Depp sexually assaulted her that night with a liquor bottle. A surgeon called by Heard's team also disputed Depp's account, saying his description of events was unlikely, in large part because his fingernail remained intact.
it's obvious he's a winner in this. You know, she's guilty. There's just a lot too much skeptical things on her, like not enough evidence for her to prove him a bad guy. No.
The March 2015 incident occurred in Australia, where Depp had been on location for the 5th installment of Pirates of the Caribbean. Herb sobbed as she recounted a fight in Australia with Depp, during which she claims that he sexually assaulted her with a vodka bottle. She claimed the star slammed her against a wall, threw bottles at her, and ripped off her nightgown in a drug-fueled rage. However, Depp's version of the incident is quite different. He claims that Heard was the one who was enraged and threw the glass bottle at him, hitting his hand and shattering, causing the tip of his finger to be severed. However, Ben King, Depp's former house manager, testified to the couple's turbulent marriage after experiencing the couple's interaction during their London stay in 2014, while Depp was filming Mordecai, and in Australia's infamous fight in 2015. King recounted hearing hysterical sobbing from Heard when he arrived at the house following the incident. He recalled seeing smashed and crashed walls, broken windows, marble chunks missing from the stairwell and bar, broken glass, a cracked TV with a coffee mug stuck inside, writing on bathroom mirrors, broken lamps, and a collapsed ping-pong table. Depp's blood-stained guitar, puddles of alcohol, a broken vodka bottle, and blood drips across the floor were also visible. He remembered finding Depp's missing fingertip in a bloody paper towel near the bar an hour after he arrived. Heard was encouraged to leave the house in Australia and return to Los Angeles. King accompanied her on this journey, where he testified her eyes were red from crying, but didn't see any marks or injuries on her. He recalled seeing uniform, long, thin scratches on her arm. He stated, after questioning Heard on what happened in the house, she simply replied, "Have you ever been so angry with someone that you lost it with them?"
It makes me really disappointed that her as a public figure decides to lie about this and really discredits women that are actually the victims of domestic violence.
On April 26th, a psychiatrist hired by Depp's legal team told the court that Heard has 2 personality disorders, borderline and histrionic disorder. Dr. Shannon Curry said that she met with Heard on 2 separate dates as she conducted her evaluation at the direction of Depp's team. She spent 12 hours with Heard, and that the result of Heard's evaluation supported 2 diagnoses. Heard's results show she externalizes blame and can be self-righteous, judgmental, and has anger. Curry added that there is a desperate fear of abandonment among those with borderline disorder, and that the reaction to this is to try to keep a significant other close, and this behavior can become extreme. Curry said those with borderline disorder could appear charming and socially sophisticated, but they can also blow up and be unaware of problems in their thinking. They're very concerned with appearances, can be cruel, and may struggle to admit faults, prompting a lot of issues in close relationships. Reactions can be violent or aggressive, or they can be abusive to their partner to physically stop them from leaving. They may also use the legal system to prevent their partners from leaving by threatening to file a restraining order or claiming that they have been abused. Following this testimony came Travis McGivern, Depp's security guard, who admitted to witnessing some brutal interactions between the actor and actress, including seeing Heard punch Depp across the face. McGivern explained how one specific conversation, which he described as a relatively peaceful conversation, quickly became louder and more volatile. He admitted to seeing Heard throw a Red Bull can at Depp, which is when he decided to step in. By stepping between the pair, he remembered seeing a fist and an arm come across his right shoulder out of the corner of his eye, followed by a closed fist contact with Depp's left side of his face. He stated that the punch came from Heard herself. After removing Depp from this violent environment, he noticed a bruise developing on the actor's face. Forensic psychologist Dr. Dawn Hughes testified for Heard's defense, stating the actress suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, stemming from domestic violence. She also dismissed the claim that the couple were both accountable for mental abuse, as their marriage counselor testified earlier in the trial. Beginning her testimony on May 4th, Heard was asked how she felt about the fact that Depp was suing her. Heard described a whirlwind romance with Depp that turned abusive. According to Heard, Depp resumed a lifestyle of heavy drinking and drug use.
In the big picture, the big scheme of things, it does nothing but hurt us. And why? Because the coke and booze doesn't make it easier for you to see how clearly that is.
You gotta stop with the coke and booze.
All the coke you've done today, and all the booze you've drank today.
By the way,
has it helped you? Has it helped us?
Just got the coke.
Has it helped us?
Today.
Yeah, I know, because yesterday you were 1,000 times better.
In graphic detail, an often teary Heard chronicled multiple physical and sexual abuse incidents from Depp. She painted him as jealous and controlling, often demanding she take roles that didn't include sex or romance. She said he regularly hit her, adding that she feared for her life on more than one occasion. She testified that he sexually assaulted her with a liquor bottle during one fight. During her testimony, the defense entered several photos showing an injured Heard into evidence, along with expletive-laden emails and text messages between the couple. Heard returned to the stand to finish her direct examination. Emotional audio was played to the court as Heard said she begged her then-husband to stop calling her a liar about his alleged abuse.
Plenty of things you've done, plenty of things you've fucking done. They were absolute fucking lies.
I didn't
I
ever.
didn't fuck with you about it. So anyway, I'm leaving. So I'll see you in a bit. Yeah?
Is that what matters?
Your lies?
Is this what matters to you, your party?
Your lies matter to me.
I never led you. And what we're talking about tonight is what? Who are you? Why? Why are you doing this?
I'm leaving. I'll leave back.
Why?
Because I'm leaving.
What is it that is so important always to run away to? Why?
It's a runaway, yeah. I run because I'm a cop.
Why don't you?
Depp was sober when they first met, but as the relationship deepened, he began drinking again. In her testimony, Heard described him disappearing for days at a time, then reappearing as a different person. He accused her of whoring herself in Hollywood and grilled her about auditioning for roles that involved sex scenes. When he didn't get the response he wanted, she testified that he turned over tables, threw glasses, and punched the wall next to her head. The first time he hit her, she said she thought he was joking. Depp was drunk and maybe on cocaine, she believed, and Heard asked him what his "Wino Forever" tattoo said. The letters were muddled and she couldn't make them out. Depp thought she already knew, and that her question was a way of mocking him. He slapped her. She laughed, so baffled by his response again and again and again. She fell off the couch as he screamed.
I laugh because I didn't know what else to do. I thought, this must be a joke. This must be a joke. Because I didn't know what was going on. I just stared at him, kind of laughing still, thinking that he was going to start laughing too to tell me it was a joke. But he didn't.
She said he kept his promise for a few months, but the drinking, the paranoia, and the temper slowly returned. Heard testified that screams became shoves, became slaps, and then became punches. After he blew up, he would disappear, then return to her sober with a promise and a plan to stay that way. The cycle repeated so many times, Heard had a name for these post-abuse periods: the warm glow. But the glow always faded. By 2014, Heard said she was the only person in his life who told him the truth about his anger and his drug problem. She ruined his fun and reminded him of what he had done on the nights he couldn't remember. He grew increasingly resentful that she treated him like an addict and an abuser, something his mind would not allow him to accept. His texts to her were apologetic, but his messages to everyone else were unrepentant. As their marriage fell apart, Heard testified that Depp became even more reliant on drugs and alcohol, disappearing for longer periods and returning with even more paranoid accusations. Heard became increasingly brittle, rolling her eyes at his bizarre denials about his addiction and ignoring his empty promises to get sober.
I thought you'd get clean and sober and it would fix a lot of our problems.
I'm never getting clean.
I know.
The last straw was a series of escalating incidents in which he vanished for nearly a week, then showed up late and drunk to her 30th birthday party, then blew up at her afterward. In the middle of their final argument, Heard testified that he threw his phone at her, hitting her in the cheek. She filed for divorce from Depp because she feared she wouldn't survive if she stayed in the relationship.
So I hope that the jury will come to the right decision, which is to decide with Amber Heard. I think that in this case, which is about libel, defamation, I think the biggest question was, did Johnny Depp commit any acts of domestic violence at any time? And the answer is yes, I think so. So I think the jury will agree with me and they'll side with Amber. I don't think this court and this case has focused enough on domestic violence. I think we've been distracted on social media, on YouTube, for consumption of just this content. I think it's a travesty, especially when domestic violence is such a serious issue in this country.
Heard shared her account of an incident during which she says police were called to her apartment after Depp attacked her. The couple hadn't seen each other for about a month at the time. Heard agreed to see Depp following his mother's death, and that she was under the impression that he'd started drinking and using drugs again.
Go, I fucked up and cry in my bedroom after I had dumped you a fucking week prior. A fucking week prior after you beat the shit out of me. And then a week later you show up at my doorstep in my room saying you want to say goodbye. Okay, say goodbye.
Oh, I said it?
Yes, you did say it. I'll go to the text messages so that we're clear on the tape.
Yes, because you said it before to me.
Okay. No doubt. But you did not say you're going to come over to say bye?
I made a huge mistake.
You didn't say that to me?
Huge mistake.
You didn't say that to me?
Well, I won't do it again.
What's the mistake then? Did you or did you not say you're coming over to say bye?
The three police officers who showed up at the couple's LA home after an altercation in 2016 testified they saw no injuries to Heard's face, despite her testimony that Depp threw a phone at her, striking her cheek. Heard told the court that the 2018 op-ed at the center of the defamation trial, opposing her and Depp, is not about Johnny. She stated the article is actually about what happened to her after escaping the marriage. Her story is remarkably unremarkable. Every beat of her narrative, the honeymoon period, the relentless escalations, the day one apologies followed by day two denials, follows well-established patterns of interpersonal violence. Heard's friend, Raquel Rocky Pennington, broke down in tears as she testified how she feared Monster Depp would do something worse than he intended to her best friend. Pennington's former husband, Josh Drew, also testified describing Depp as screaming, cursing, and spitting at him on the last night he allegedly abused Heard. Whitney Heard Henriquez took the stand testifying that Depp asked her to sign a non-disclosure agreement after he allegedly hit her during a violent attack on her sister.
Accused of altering her evidence and making up details to match her sister's version of events, Whitney Henriquez replied, "I thought this was important because it was the first time that I'd ever seen physical violence towards her, towards my sister, with my own eyes."
The incident, which became known as the Staircase Incident, allegedly took place in March 2015 inside the downtown Los Angeles penthouse in the Eastern Columbia building, where the couple lived together. Henriquez said her former brother-in-law struck her in the back, hurled a Red Bull can at a friend, grabbed Heard by the hair, and hit her before trashing her closet. In a text shared in court, Depp said Heard was begging for global humiliation after she filed for a restraining order. Heard's lawyer, Ben Rottenborn, repeatedly commented that Depp was suing Heard specifically over the op-ed and noted that Heard never named Depp and it didn't contain any details of their time together. Using texts and audio recordings, Rottenborn pushed back on Depp's version of events when Heard alleged he abused her. He argued that Depp's alcohol and drug use were what cost him his career.
Well, yes, you do, because you wouldn't have used that as a way to hit me. I was pouring my heart out to you. What do you do? Let me get it. Let me get it. Stab in here. That's what you saw, huh? You listen to me cry, and you're like, now I can get her. Is that what you think? Or you just do it without thinking? You do it without thinking, huh? You don't. Get him. Stab him when you can. You throw a swing when you can. And what win better than to win him on the floor? Because that's when it's really good to hit someone.
A laundry list of celebrities is tangentially or directly connected with the trial. Marilyn Manson and actor Paul Bettany's names have been mentioned multiple times, as both are friends with Depp and have allegedly used drugs and drunk heavily with Depp. Jurors have seen vulgar texts from 2013 between Depp and Bettany in which Depp made violent references toward Heard. Actress Ellen Barkin, a former friend and sexual partner of Depp's, appeared in a video deposition as a defense witness. She testified to the actor being drunk all the time on red wine during their mid-1990s relationship, and recounted an incident in which Depp threw a wine bottle across a room. Kate Moss denied a rumor Heard briefly mentioned in her testimony that Depp pushed her down the stairs during their relationship in the 1990s as she took the stand in the couple's defamation trial. Moss testified for only a few minutes via video link, saying that she did fall down a set of stairs while the couple were on holiday in Jamaica, and that Depp rushed to her aid and cared for her. Asked about the relationship, Moss states that Depp never pushed, kicked, or threw her down any stairs. The American Civil Liberties Union, for which Heard is a celebrity ambassador, wrote the first draft of the op-ed at the center of the trial. Heard also pledged to donate $3.5 million, half of which she received from her divorce from Depp, but is yet to make the total donation. This has become a contentious point, as Depp's lawyers have repeatedly argued that Heard has only donated $1.3 million. While Heard's side pointed out the actress never said she would ultimately fulfill her pledge, but had to stop making payments because Depp sued her for $50 million.
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
ACLU is a human rights organization.
Sorry, ACLU is a prominent organization, nonprofit organization in the United States. Yeah. It's called the American Civil Liberties Union, and they work on behalf of marginalized communities on the ground and in legislative reform.
Right.
And
well, more power to you, because that's something that I've never...
Elon Musk, who Heard dated after she split with Depp, has also come up. He made one of the ACLU payments on behalf of Heard. She testified that Depp was jealous when she took a role in a movie with James Franco, and that Franco once inquired about bruises on her face following an alleged abusive incident with Depp. Depp attorney Camille Vasquez attempted to discredit Heard's testimony with rapid-fire questions. Vasquez pointed to the lack of medical records backing up Heard's deposition, noting that Heard continued using drugs and alcohol herself while expressing concern about Depp's substance abuse. She pressed heavily against Heard's argument that the op-ed at the center of the case isn't about Depp. In their closing argument on May 27th, Depp's lawyers told jurors that Heard was the abuser and that he was the abused during their tumultuous relationship. In the closing argument for Heard, attorney Benjamin Rottenborn accused Depp of carrying out a campaign of global humiliation against Heard that sends a message to survivors of domestic abuse everywhere that they will not be believed.
Certainly for victims and survivors, it definitely has a chilling effect, which is if this can happen to someone of that stature, what could happen to me?
The defamation trial involving Depp and Heard has brought up an eye-watering amount of sometimes lurid detail.
Go put your fucking cigarettes out on someone else, you fucking have consequences for your actions. That's it.
Shut up, fat ass.
Yeah, you got me there.
Aside from the claims of physical abuse, jurors and viewers alike have heard allegations about disreputable lawyers, leaked rumors, broken bottles, blood-smeared mirrors, broken phones, and broken promises on donations. Even claims about feces left in a bed.
We have to understand, particularly in celebrity-like cases, how that influences our culture. And this is a perfect example of a case influencing a culture. And I don't know that we'll know tomorrow what that influence has been and how much impact it's had, either positively or negatively.
After 6 weeks of testimony at the Fairfax County Courthouse in Virginia, deliberations began. Jurors deliberated for just under 13 hours before returning their verdict on June 1st, 2022.
I do find that the jury's verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your service in this case. I want to thank you again for your dedication and your hard work during this trial. And I know I speak for everybody here when I tell you that we appreciate your sacrifices and your time and your public service in this matter, okay? So I'm going to have you go back to the jury deliberation room for one more time, and then we'll release you from there, okay? All right, thank you.
They ruled in favor of Depp and ordered Heard to pay him $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages. Heard won a single part of 3 listed in her counterclaim, and Depp was ordered to pay her $2 million. Depp's legal team celebrated the verdict as Heard looked down at her desk.
Confirms what we have said from the beginning, that the claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence. We are grateful, so grateful to the jury for their careful deliberation, to the judge and the court staff who have devoted an enormous amount of time and resources towards this case.
Our judicial system is predicated on each person's right to have his or her case heard, and we were honored, truly honored, to assist Mr. Depp in ensuring that his case was fairly considered throughout the trial. We are also most pleased that the trial has resonated for so many people in the public who value truth and justice.
Ms. Heard described the verdict as a setback for women, while her former husband said his goal was to reveal the truth. Whether or not you believe he achieved that is for history to decide.
And while Depp's music career continues, the pair's future on the big screen seems uncertain.
Many young people and children are accessing a lot of these platforms where content is being created, shared, amplified, that's really reinforcing harmful attitudes, gender stereotypes and myths and other stereotypes around rape, sexual violence and all forms of violence against women and girls.
The barrister Charlotte Proudman says what happened to Amber Heard is indicative of the way female victims are treated in court.
Why she didn't have more bruises, yet ignoring the bruises that she did have. Why she didn't have more evidence, ignoring the evidence she did have. It's the way in which women are cross-examined in a courtroom process. And she hasn't hijacked the Me Too movement, but the whole circus that has gone along with that has resulted in the Me Too movement now being dead. Rest in peace, Me Too, because that's exactly what we've seen. It's dead, buried, gone.
I think there's a lot of concern that we've turned back the clock big time, particularly with the outcome of this trial. I would say that I don't know how much traction we had gained anyway. So let us use this as a reminder of the work that we still have to do.
6 weeks, 5 years together, 4 fingers, 3.5 million missing. 2 truths, 1 verdict. This is Depp versus Heard. The verdict.